I found that one of the best ways to describe one's government is in the preamble of their constitution. Because the constitution of a country is its directive, its purpose, its mission. The preamble to the Slovak Constitution says the following: We, the Slovak nation, are mindful of political and cultural heritage of our forebears, and the centuries of experience from the struggle for our national existence, and our own statehood. In the sense of the spiritual heritage of Kirill and Methodius, and the historical legacy of great Moravian Empire, proceeding from the natural right of nations to self-determination, together with members of national minority and ethnic groups living in the territory of the Slovak Republic, in the interest of lasting peaceful cooperation with other democratic states, seeking the application of the democratic form of government and the guarantees of free life and the development of spiritual, cultural, and economic prosperity. That is, we, citizens of the Slovak Republic, adopt through our representatives the following constitution. That gives you the directive and drive for the Slovakian government. The Slovak military has three branches: the ground forces, the air force, and training and police forces. The ground forces has two main sections: the infantry and mechanized, which is like an armored division, which would be their tanks and etc. The Air Force, um, the Air Force is broken up into two different wings. One a fighting wing and the other a support wing. The Air Force of Slovakia has 70 planes. Training and police forces is pretty self-explanatory. Their job is to train new soldiers and to keep the cities safe. Slovakia currently has 198 military personnel deployed worldwide for United Nations-led peace support operations. Slovakia committed to increase its number of troops in Afghanistan to around 500 men by the end of the year 2010. Slovak troops are deployed in southern Afghanistan. Slovakia has increased its commitment to KFOR and SFOR in Bosnia, both of which are United Nations strike forces, peacekeeping strike forces. In 2002, soon Slovak troops will withdraw from Kosovo because Slovak armed forces set its priority to focus mainly on Afghanistan. Only 20 men will stay for intelligence regions in Kosovo. Since the independence of Slovakia in 1993, there have been 53 uniformed personnel deaths in the line of service to the United Nations as of 2008. The CSSR. At one point, Slovakia, as Czechoslovakia, was under the control of the SSR and became the CSSR. They were This was from 1960 to the end of 1989. They became a People's Republic after the 9th of May Constitution became effective. In 1960, the Constitution of Czechoslovakia became a symbol of the final victory of socialism in the country, and remained so until the Velvet Revolution in Czechoslovakia. Czech and Slovak Federal Republic. This was the Czechoslovakia just before the Velvet Divorce. It's the official name of Czechoslovakia. From April 1990 until December 31st, 1992, when the country was dissolved into the Czech Republic and Slovak Republic during the Velvet Divorce. Statistics say that 50,000 people will come greet the Slovakian men's national ice hockey team when they come home from an international competition. And that's in a country of just over 5 million. Slovakia holds hockey to a high regard. Since 2002, when they've been competing in the Olympics, they have got 7 Olympic medals, 5 of which were from ice hockey. Slovakia is one of the only 2 countries that's allowed to manufacture NHL regulation hockey pucks. The other country is Canada. When Slovakia was under the control of the USSR and was the CSSR, art was to be directed to political ends. In Slovakia, they suffered the same restrictions that affected their counterparts in the Czech lands. Nonetheless, certain individuals, including Jin Kadar, Dušan Henk, Stefan Oshar, and Juraj Jabrisko, gained international recognition for their work. As many of the other post-communist countries of Eastern Europe, the Slovak motion picture industry has been affected by the reduction in state subsidies. Slovakia actually had an underground film ring. They would make these films that didn't go through the government censors, and they would meet in remote locations and show these films. That was how people would do it. From services, its industrial sector also plays a big part. Slovakia manufactures cars and electrical engineering. Since 2007, it has been the largest producer of cars per capita. It manufactures Volkswagens, Kias, and Peugeot Citroëns. Trade. The Slovak economy depends heavily on foreign trade, as well as all other countries of the world. Slovakia does not have enough raw materials and various technical products. The foreign trade has been developing. These changes depend on situations in foreign markets, to only a few factors playing significant roles which influence the trade balance of our homeland, Slovakia. Slovakian food. Slovakian food is relatively simple. This is a Slovakian cookbook that has been in my family for a number of years. Within its pages, you'll find recipe upon recipe that has very simple names, and all are pretty close to each other. Most Slovakian dishes are made out of potatoes and flour, assorted in different ways. What I have here is langoshe, or lashka. This is usually served along with a soup, but it can also be served as a course and be used in place of something like bread or like mashed potatoes. Now, it is closely related to potato pancakes, so because of this, which you can see the recipe on the bottom of your screen, it tastes really good with applesauce. Now, without the applesauce, it's just a bland, flaky food. The applesauce is really only the flavor that it has. You get the flavor of the applesauce, crunchy and flaky texture of the langoshe. And Slovakian food is poor man's food. Slovakian food doesn't center on taste. It centers on what you have. A lot of people farmed potatoes and could buy flour. A lot of Slavic recipes contain things like sauerkraut. A lot of people grew sauerkraut and could get the other things needed. This took a few minutes to throw together and make. Relatively simple. This is what Slovaks eat. Slovakia, we drive on the right side of the road. The whole continental Europe drives on the right side of the road. Slovakia is no exception. The usage of the right side in the Austro-Hungarian Empire was inspired by France. In 1918, when the Czechoslovak Republic was founded, the cars moved to the left side of the road. As of 1938, Czech lands became a German protectorate, and Slovakia became a German satellite. The whole area conformed to the German rule of driving on the right side of the road. Position of cars and streets is a very good guide to estimating the approximate age of photos in Czech and Slovak towns from pre-war and war years. Slovakia is made up of 85.8% Slovaks, 9.7% Hungarians, 1.7% Roma, which would be Romanian, 1% Russians or Ukrainians, and 1.8% unspecified.